and entertainer Harry Belafonte has joined the calls for Florida to repeal its Stand Your Ground laws in the wake of the acquittal of George Zimmerman. Belafonte visited an ongoing sit-in and protests in the state capitol on Friday. The protesters are known as the Dream Defenders. They've been occupying the Capitol since July 16th. That was just days after a jury acquitted George Zimmerman of killing 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. The Dream Defenders want the state legislature to be recalled to discuss its self-defense laws. Melanie Andrade is the president of the Florida A&M University chapter of Dream Defenders. She's been taking part in this sit-in at the Florida Capitol building and joins us from there. Thanks so much for joining us, Melanie.
Thank you for having me.
So you were there when Harry Belafonte visited the protest on Friday. What was that like? I mean, I could feel the energy just watching the video, but tell us from your experience.
It was really powerful, actually. You know, when he first came, he was brought up to the 22nd floor of the Capitol for a bit of a press conference with the media. And so it was him, myself, and a few other spokespeople who were up there. And, you know, as soon as he got up there, everybody flocked him. And I was just able to hear him speak and talk about the fact that he's not here as a celebrity. He's not here for the spotlight. He's actually here to see and, you know, feed off of our energy and our movement because he's a part of our history. And so, you know, it was reaffirming and it was really powerful to hear from somebody who understands why we're doing this, that, you know, we should be doing this.
Right. He's historically an advocate of civil rights for sure. Today, of course, marking day 12 of your group sit-in. You're making your own kind of history there in Florida. What's the mood like?
The energy is pretty high. The energy is pretty high. Every single day, the security has, you know, kind of upped the amount of security that we have. But we all understand that, you know, this wasn't supposed to be comfortable coming into it. So we're keeping our spirits high and just utilizing the space that we have. As you can see, I mean, we're in the governor's office. I mean, we've basically taken over the Capitol. It's our home, and it has been for the past 12 days.
And so what's the security been like in response to that, and along with the food situation?
Well, every day since July 16th, there has been, you know, an increasing amount of people who actually have been staying with us. And so with that increasing amount of people, we've seen like a smaller amount of space that we're being confined to by the security guards. And we understand that, you know, they're trying to make us uncomfortable to get us to leave, right? So last weekend, you know, they allowed for food to be brought in for us as far as hot meals. And yesterday they decided to tell us that, you know, we can't have food delivered. And so we're stuck with what we have. And so yesterday we had over 100 people here because we had buses come down from New York, Philly, DC, Baltimore. And all we have is bread, fruits, and some snacks. So we've been utilizing that, you know, eating PB&J sandwiches as our meals because they won't allow for any meals to come in. But, you know, Monday morning, the doors will reopen. So we're going to make it.
And tell me about that. How are you going to make it? And what do you want to see happen here with the end of this protest?
Well, this is actually something that a lot of people have been calling a protest, an occupation, a sit-in, but it's something that, you know, it might look like all of those things, but it goes deeper than that. So it's something we're calling a dream in. We are the Dream Defenders. But basically, we're demanding that the governor of Florida, Governor Rick Scott, convene a special session of the legislature, like you said, not only to discuss Stand Your Ground and the repeal or the reform of it, but to start looking into the actual environment that created the murder of Trayvon Martin. That environment includes racial profiling, the school-to-prison pipeline, which is, as it states, the direct funneling of young people who just happen to be predominantly Black, brown, or poor people from their schools into the jail system, into the criminal justice system, into prisons. So Trayvon's law, what it would look like is it would cover those three things: the repeal of Stand Your Ground, racial profiling, as well as the school-to-prison pipeline. And so we've already had a meeting with Governor Rick Scott on day 3 of the Dream In, and, you know, he told us that He doesn't want to take stand your ground off the books because last year there was a task force convened on it and they saw nothing wrong with it. So he stands by stand your ground. But he said that as far as racial profiling goes, you know, he doesn't believe in it. And the only idea he has that we can do about it is to pray about it. So now you have the governor of Florida telling Black youth that, you know, we can't do anything about racial profiling. All we can do is pray. Yet we've presented him with a way forward with Trayvon's law. So we're going to, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, so how do you get him on board then? It seems as if he's sort of cut the discussion off that way.
Yeah, well, that was day 3. On day 7, he actually sent out the secretary of the DJJ to speak with us. And, you know, to show that they're listening, they're trying to work with us. However, we do understand that there are actually multiple ways that you can get a special session called, so we're exhausting every avenue. Besides getting the governor to call it, we can also ask the Speaker of the House or the Senate President, or we can get 60% of the legislature signed on to support it, and then it can be convened without Governor Scott's approval. So right now we have the 20% that is needed to begin the roll call for the 60%. And so we're going to be announcing that tomorrow. And yeah, so we're going to stay here and keep applying pressure to Governor Scott and try to get him to call it. But at the same time, we're signing on legislators right now to support us. So either way, we're going to get the special session.
For sure. Well, you have great determination. So does the rest of the Dream Defenders. So wishing you the best of luck in what you're trying to achieve here. Melanie Andrade is the president, Florida A&M University chapter of Dream Defenders. Lovely talking to you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.